specifically with Cena, you have this monumental task taking this like super babyface, and you have to find a way to turn him into a bad guy that kind of justifies story, right? Like, like because I was looking at it, I'm like looking at some of the stats, and it's like, okay, what he is like 16 championships. He's like tied with Ric Flair, and it's like you're going into WrestleMania, and then without any storyline, it's like, okay, of course he's gonna win, and then he gets his 17th, and then it's over. And then I'm watching this match, and I see that great moment with The Rock, and the face go cold, and that this idea that like I'm gonna end wrestling, I'm gonna win and then retire, and then nobody will ever win a belt for real again. And now all of a sudden I'm like, if I'm a wrestling fan, I've got to protect wrestling.
Yeah.
I've got to find a way to, and now.
And John's reasoning for that is like, fuck, for 20 years, I've had to listen to you people tell me Cena sucks. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. I've had to, you shit on my ideas. You shit on these things, all this stuff like that. Every turn I've tried to make, and all I've ever done is give you everything I have, and it wasn't enough. You always want more. It's like, so there's this place of justification where you can go like, well, I kind of get that.
Yeah, he's done with it. It's like, why haven't you given him up? He's done everything for the business. He's always done the right thing.
Yeah, he should be the most beloved guy ever in anything. And now in his mind, he's protecting the business from somebody like Cody, who in his mind is just copying him and phony going into this thing, and they love him for it, and he's angry about
why the fuck does he get all the love?
Yeah, they love him for this, and wait, you guys, I gave you
why didn't
everything.
I get the love?
Exactly.
So you get the resentment.
She's justified in all of it, and it's kind of what works with the story, no matter how. And look, I'll say this from a bold standpoint, it would have been so easy for John, who's making movies and is one of the busiest people I know, to say, look, I'm coming back for a year. Let's
just give me the fucking belt.
I'm gonna go out there and do my greatest hits.
Yeah.
And people will love it, and I'll sell some merch, and then it'll be done, and I'll say thank you very much, and I'll ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
He could have very easily done that. But when we threw the heel idea at him, he was like, fuck yeah.
He jumped at it.
Yeah, like, man, this is challenging to me.
Yeah.
Like, I love the challenge. When we pitched it, and I got off the phone with John, and, he seemed very excited, but within like the next 5 minutes, I got like 6 texts from him. You know what I mean? Where I was like, oh my God, he's in. Like, he
started pitching ideas.
Yeah, he's like, he couldn't stop thinking about it. And he had to talk to somebody about it because he was on a movie set, right? Yeah. So he just kept texting me about it. And I was like, oh, and this has piqued his interest. And, it's cool to see John, who's, he's been gone and in and out for a long time. And when you're doing that, you're not that same level. To see him so engaged and so like passionate about this now and what he's doing and the whole thing, it's so cool to watch. Yeah. So cool.
Do you think nice guys play better heels?
So it's a funny thing, and this might be completely off. I have like a theory that, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all. You to be the babyface, you have to have, you have to be a little bit more selfish. You have to be. And so Austin was a great babyface, but he's not selfish. It's sort of, he was because his character was a bad guy that they just loved.
Yeah.
Right?
But that's societal utility.
Yeah.
Going against the man.
Yes.
You get to be a bad guy because there's a worse guy that you're going to confront.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different, but you always hear the stories about the top sort of good guy in the business. And there's just, because it's all about you. As a bad guy, your job is to make the other guy look good. It's keep yourself alive doing it, keep yourself hot doing it, keep yourself all that stuff. But the truth is, the biggest reaction that you get as a bad guy is when you give the good guy the comeback.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah. When it looks like you're going to win. And then.
So I know I do all this horrible shit to this person. The biggest reaction we're going to get, if I'm working with Rock and he's the bad guy, I mean, he's the good guy, I'm the bad guy. I do all this horrible stuff to him. Well, I know when he starts to finally make that big comeback on me and kick my ass, I'm going to fly all over the place for him. That's the magic.
Yeah.
Right? The bad guy sort of creates that. I feel like you're only as good as a good guy in the business as you are the bad guys that you have to work with.
Right. That's right. Because the bigger the villain, the more the audience wants to see that villain go down, the more they celebrate the baby face.
We talk about it all the time, like in the Rocky movies, right? Like, so in the first Rocky, he just, and Rocky's not about boxing, but it's about overcoming, right? But the bad guy in Rocky is Paul Creed. He's just this arrogant guy, and this guy wants to prove himself against him. He doesn't have to win, but he just has to stay the distance, and he does. They get to the second one. Okay, but now he has all these things he has to overcome in his life, and it's still the same bad guy, but he's got to overcome that. And the first one was a fluke, and blah, 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 blah. He overcomes that. Now you get to the third one. Now he's succeeded as the babyface. So what do? They have to make Mr. T, the ultimate bad guy, that is so mean and so nasty, talks shit about his wife, and ends up sort of causing Burgess Meredith so much stress, making that he dies. And now Rocky's got to avenge. He just can't fight. He gets the shit kicked out of him. Now he's got to find a way to come back against all that and win. They get to the next one. Now he's the champ again, or whatever it is. They create a Russian guy, right? Because it's the Cold War and all that shit. But they create the Russian guy that's so bad, they make Rocky befriend Apollo Creed.
It's great.
Who then gets killed by the big Russian guy, and he's got to go to Russia to like to
avenge the loss.
Right? It's sort of, how can we make the bad guy to give him something to fight against?
Yeah. If I don't hate that bad guy, if I'm not rooting against that bad guy, if that bad guy doesn't stand for everything that I despise, then how can I really root for the babyface? Yes. So the core for the story is having a great villain. It's we've talked about this a lot, even in like Marvel movies. Is like they do villains better than DC.
Thanos is an amazing villain.
Yeah, it's like you want to hate him, but then also like, does he have a point? Is there something he's going after?
It's
like,
what some of the things that we try to do now. A lot of it in our creative is like, I've always believed bad guys have to be justified. Might be fucked up reasoning,
but they have to have
their way of looking at it is really warped.
Yeah,
they've got to be justified. They can't just do like why are you doing that? Like, because I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
you didn't have to do the mustache thing.
Yeah.
No. But I get what you're saying. Like a lot of times with DC, it's just like, I'm space alien that wants to destroy the Earth, and it's like, who cares? Yeah. Why is that important? But Thanos going like, hey, it's unfair for people. It's unfair for most people in the galaxy. So why don't we just get rid of half of them, and then nobody will starve? And you're like, wait a minute, he's kind of got a point. There's some empathy in that.
Plus, they were already trying to put that story out there to normalize it for the government. You know what I mean?
Okay, this is